So a bunch of YouTube knife makers decided to do this Bowie challenge, and after watching everybody's videos, it kind of inspired me to want to make a Bowie. I've only made one Bowie before, so I'm not really part of the challenge, so this is just going to be a fan film. Here I am grinding off the teeth with my flat sander on my angle grinder. And now I'm trying to flatten it. This is before I had a surface grinder attachment. And there it is, all finished up on both sides. Oh, that's such a terrible sound. I'm destroying my scribe thingy. I won't make you listen to that too much. And now I'm cutting it out with my angle grinder because I'm a stock removal person. I hope that doesn't offend the forging people. And there's a nice shot of my shoulder. Now I'm just profiling it here. It kind of hurt my thumb while I was doing this part because my hand slipped and it went into the grinder. That wheel is not really made for that, but I don't have a contact wheel, so I'm working with what I have. And here I am establishing my sponge line. I just want to get those nice and established in the beginning so it becomes easier to maintain them later on. And there's the other side. Here I am establishing my, what do you call it, the edge. I'm doing, like, I guess they call this a 45 grind, where you do it at a really steep angle. That's just so, you know, you can get the edge established so it becomes easier to maintain it later on. And then you can start grinding the bevel. That's how I do it anyway. I meant to make this a silent video, but since I'm doing this without heat treating it, I thought I would give an explanation. Usually I would anneal this and then grind it out and then heat treat it, but I thought I would try doing it without heat treating it, just use the hardness of the thing. So the place where it's most likely to not be hard enough is right here, because this used to be the inside of the file. So let's check it out. To me, that seems hard. You can tell, whoops, you can tell the difference. You try to do the tang, that actually cuts. So that's cutting right there, but that does not cut anywhere along the edge. So I think I'm gonna temper this at about 400 degrees just to bring the temper down a little bit, because it's a little bit on the hard side, so it's probably brittle. And I may bring the temper down a little bit more using a blowtorch on the back of it, just to soften it up back here and leave the edge hard. So we'll see. I'm gonna go ahead and finish grinding it. The reason I haven't done this part over here is because it's easier to hold on to this while I'm grinding than trying to hold on to a tiny little tang. So I'm gonna finish the blade first, and then I'm gonna do this part. And there it is, all nice and ground. Now I'm grounding my swedge, or false edge, or whatever you want to call it. Thought you might like to see my shoulder while I do this. Oh, there's the other side. You don't have to look at my shoulder while I do this side. And there you have it. I gave up on trying to make this a video, so the rest of this is just going to be a bunch of pictures that I took. In case you're wondering, that's a balata rasp. Of all the different kinds of rasps that I've tried, I've had the most luck with balatas. I think they're, unlike most rasps, they're hardened all the way through. And so that's why I was able to get away with not having to heat treat this one. But even with the ones that I've annealed and then heat treated, I always get the best hardness out of the balatas. Some of the others, I have a hard time getting them hard at all. This is my first attempt at a fit up of all my pieces. And I had a few gaps in here, but I was able to get them all out. I wanted to do a takedown tang, which involved bedding the handle, which I learned from Kyle Royer. But I was concerned that even with Vaseline, that the holes that I had from teeth on the file would create a mechanical bond with the epoxy. So to fix that problem, I melted some crayon wax into those holes to fill the gaps. Once I had the handle bedded, I started shaping the handle. And then I shaped the handle some more, and I started shaping that spacer. Here's the handle pieces all shaped up without being attached to the knife. I told you before that I got all the gaps out, but after I put that S-curve in the guard, some gaps reemerged, and I spent an entire day trying to get rid of a gap. There's a close-up of the dreaded gap. You wouldn't believe how big that gap can get in your mind when you're laying in bed at night. I spent a whole day trying to get rid of that and wasn't successful. I decided to finish the knife out anyway. It is a takedown knife, so I can always change the handle out if I want to. I actually came up with a solution that I haven't implemented yet. I'm just going to take a little hammer and just peen that over a little bit. The gap is so small that when I put a little bit of gun oil on the fittings, the gap went away. So I don't think it'll be a big deal to just peen it over just a little bit. It's hard to make the plunge line look right on one of these Farrier rasp knives because of the way the teeth are cut in. They're not cut in evenly on both sides, so it can make it look like the plunge line is off. Here's a few more close-ups of the handle. I forgot to tell you, but the handle is made of mesquite, and the fittings are mild steel. And I did a kind of a museum finish, or forget there's another name for it, an heirloom fit, or something like that. I also cold blued those fittings, but you could probably already tell that. And that's it. You're looking at the last picture. I have to say I was pretty proud of this knife. It's not perfect or anything, but it was a lot of work, and I enjoyed making it, and pretty happy with the end result. Thanks for watching.